Google reviews, they're gold. Gold. That should be your main focus if you're going to business, is the Google reviews. If anybody's watching this, then just take some time and invest that part of it. When you're there, it's a cool place to be. It really is. Because when people call in, they go, how'd you hear about us? You're number one on Google. And your reviews, oh my God, let me stop there. You've got to get reviews. I've given away thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to help offset something that went wrong on a job. So I didn't get a bad review. Wasn't trying to get a good one, but I was at least trying to make things right.
Okay, welcome in everyone to another episode with Vetted Homes. We are so excited to welcome Jerry Martin with us today. Yes, he is with a company called A New Day Construction, based out of Georgia. Winder, is that how you say it?
Winder. You got to wind it.
Winder. Got to get that southern twang in there.
They get it all the time.
Winder, Georgia. But yeah, we've been connected through a mutual contact, and we just love everything that Jerry's about. Got to do a little bit of research on a new day, and
I was going to quiz you next, actually.
No, I don't need a Scantron or a number 2 pencil right now. But I love everything he's about. You know, he's about putting the relationship before the profit, you know, and doing the right thing. High emphasis on Christian values. Jerry is a believer. You don't have to look very far to see that. It's all over his website. It's on his shirt that he's wearing right now. But yeah, I love the emphasis on Jesus, on doing things the right way, on emphasizing people, like I said, over the profit or the money. And that's what we like to do here at Vetted Homes as well. We love taking care of people and putting people before the profit. So we're so happy to have you on with us today. So happy to highlight you and just get to learn a little bit more about you and your company. So with that said, why don't you just tell the people just a little bit about who you are and why you started A New Day Construction?
Wow. All right. So Jerry Martin, I've had an interesting life, I guess you say, as I look back at it. I've owned roughly about 34 different businesses. So I come at the construction industry from the business side of it, not from swinging a hammer up. So it's a little different angle. Then I went through my surrender moment and decided to really turn my life over to God. Was looking for something I could really be passionate about, something that I could really settle down in, because in previous I was a serial entrepreneur. I had to do business as a business, and things had to keep going. So I really wanted to settle in on something, and something that traditionally is a negative field. You know, as far as for customers, you know, when they think of contractors, everybody goes, I'm going to be taken advantage of. So, and really looking for something to help build a retirement, because at 55, starting a new business, back then it was 53, but starting new businesses, starting over is kind of rough. So making sure I picked the right one that I knew I could make an impact, but also, help make that retirement, I guess you'd say. But through my surrender moment, I knew whatever I did, I wanted to make an impact. And I really, hear a lot of stuff about people says, oh, be careful when you put the cross, those fish on your cards, because, businesses like that, they're not for real. They're always hide behind it, whatever. So I really wanted to break that, really wanted to shatter that myth. And it's hard. It's still hard to this day. But it's been the number one thing that's helped us grow. And we're people focused. I tell people we focus on people, let God take care of money. Money takes care of itself if we take care of people. I fully believe that. And that's both in our staff and everybody we come across, and with our customers too, making sure that they are the point, we're taking care of them. So it's kind of nutshell a little bit.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
love
great.
that.
That's great. And then there is some significance to a new day construction. You care to share what that
Yeah,
is?
yeah. So I was going through it. I was thinking names. I was like, you know what? Every day's a new day. We get stuck in the past. A lot of time we're worried about the past. We can't do anything about it, but we worry about it, and we let it control our life. And also the future. When I went through my surrender moment, I had to come to grips that I really don't have control, because I was a control freak. One of the things that really I had to break away from is being in control of everything and everybody in my life. So I had to really release that and know that I don't know what's going to happen an hour from now. I think I know. I can plan for it, but I really don't know. So, really the message is a new day. Every day's a new day. So, try not to live in the future, try not to live in the past. Just live in the present and notice what's around you. So it's tough in this world, and the new day helps remind us to reset that on a daily basis. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. I'm like totally resonating with it because I'm the type of person that wakes up and I'm like, it's another day. Yay, what are we gonna do today? Like so
She does.
excited. A little too
That's not.
excited.
Wait a minute. No.
Yeah.
No. I'm like,
But yeah. He's
I'm
always
a little
like,
slower at that, but yeah.
She's doing cartwheels out of bed, and I'm smelling coffee. Like, where's the coffee? Yeah.
yeah. But no, I love that. Just I think like taking in the day as well and just being present is something that is a struggle nowadays. It really is. There's just so much vying for our attention everywhere. And so,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. It's a
Cool.
gift. Every day is. So I
It
love
is.
that.
It is, and really trying to, and the hard thing is kind of focusing in on that and realizing that, hey, today is, I don't have control tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I carrying this luggage from yesterday? Because it's done. I can't. Whatever they did, whatever happened, I can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
So just living that day. Yeah, yeah. So
absolutely. I love that. I know I was teaching my boys recently. I was talking about just integrity and freedom when you are honest and trying to make the right choices. It's so much easier and so much lighter to live in the day knowing like you don't have to worry about the regrets of what you've done if you're making good choices and just being honest. I'm like, there's such freedom in that. I was telling the boys, if there's something that's going on you need to share with us, like share it, because it lifts that from you and there's freedom. We're going to make mistakes and it's okay. But yeah, I love that too.
exactly. So I was going to throw in actually. On our team, one of our project managers used to have his own construction business, but he used to also be a pastor.
Oh, cool.
And his business didn't have anything to do with the Lord or any kind of cross. And when he come to us, he said, I didn't want to associate my business with that because of the stigma that people put with it. And he was really skeptical when he stepped into what we were doing. But fast forward a year later, he's like, I get it now. But it's really, really, really cool to our team is. Our goal is to really, when we go through a project, is to make it more of an experience instead of a construction site. And we drop the ball sometimes, but that's what our goal is, and actually for them to feel Christ, not us throw it on them. Does that make sense? Like,
Absolutely.
what's that to just come through? That's cool. And and I feel in the big grand scheme of things, I think God's really making a push now more than ever. You see it. You see commercials. You see start. I mean, everybody's come out. Ones who used to not want to stand up and proclaim it, now these people are, and it's the UFC fights, and you can see more of that. People are being more, I don't know, more out
Bold.
for God. And so I just feel like God's really making a push, and we're doing our part, and so who knows?
That's awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit before this interview, Jerry, how it seems like everybody in the South is a Christian. Like it's just like a stigma, but I love that you guys take it a step further and you wear it on your sleeve. Literally, it's on your shirt. And with that comes, like you said, some expectations and maybe even some like negative baggage, So have you experienced some of that, dealing with customers, dealing with people that, might proclaim to be Christian, but maybe not necessarily are?
Right.
It's a heavy question for you.
Yeah. So when people don't get things so let me put it this way, and I tell every customer this: if it's something in the gray area, my default, I'm going to take care of it. If we wasn't clear, and I feel like that's something on our side, I'm going to take care of it. But if I feel it was clear, then yeah, it's going to have to be a change order or something, because we run into customers, and it's crazy. They hire us for this, but then when it comes to money, it's a totally different thing. It's the craziest thing. And like, what do and so, yes, I've had them, and when they don't get their way, I have them, yeah, you said you're a Christian company. It's like, I am. And we are, but that's the first thing to attack. And that really hurts or sucks, I would say, because, it's like, it's that stab, but it's one of the things where you got to really know who we are and what we're about to really deflect that. But yeah, when it comes to money, sometimes, and I'm very lenient. I give more than I take. My team, they're just like, "Are you seriously going to do that?" I'm like, "Yep, it's the right thing to do." Like, but there's some areas where I don't feel like I want to give, and then yeah, I've had neighbors, I've had people just do some things that are not cool. And I learned to, in most cases, just meet them in the middle, lick my wounds, and keep walking. And it's hard to do, but anything outside of that would not show our our character. So I can't stoop to their level. Let me put it that way. Sometimes I want to. Sometimes I really want to, but yeah. So yes, we do have some issues when it comes to that, because that's the divide. When Christianity and money, that's the two things that really hold people away. So
Yeah, for sure. So you alluded earlier that you had a bunch of businesses in the past. So now you're at a place in life where you felt like you wanted to start a construction company. What sort of inspired you to maybe go down that path?
Well, through the businesses that I own, I was actually in the fitness business industry for years, with Anytime Fitness clubs, Fit Body Boot Camps. We had like 21 clubs at one time. But through that process and every business, we did our own build out. And even through those years, I would dabble on the side of flipping houses and stuff like that. So, but I love the aspect of taking something, and especially in the remodel. I don't like new builds. Really, we have done those, but this is something I very rarely will do. But the remodels, to me, they're more challenging. It's great to take an old space and turn it to something new, and to just see things transform. So when this one avenue when I wanted to go down is like, I like that aspect of it. And then when I stepped into it, really realizing very quickly, somebody asked, who's your number one competition? I'm like, bad contractors. I mean, it is, honestly. It's like, and I think about it like, oh my God, they're bad contractors, because that's the stigma we got to come over and try to fight our way through when we're out giving estimates, because everybody expects you to give a free estimate. What do you mean you charge for an estimate? We don't yet, but yeah, and so yeah.
We were talking a little bit about customers. Maybe you can share like a notable success story, or maybe you have like one testimony that stands out to you, because you started this new company. It seems like it was 3 years ago.
Right when the pandemic started is when I started this company.
Oh,
yeah, it was crazy. I'll tell you a little story. I know we got a little time. So that's when I was going through, like I said, my transition or surrender, and it was about a 2-year process that I believe 100% of my heart that God held me down and wouldn't let me do anything, because I'd had some great ideas. We had investors, things that was going. It's like nothing worked. But at that point too, I had really started working for another contractor, and it really didn't work out with us, but he had brought me in and he wanted to talk to me. I had to meet him at a job site, and back then I was just really hitting social media with with my story, hoping it'll help somebody else. I was doing a lot of stuff on social media there, and I didn't really want to be a leader anymore. I didn't want to be the guy in charge because I felt that I'm with a lot of stuff that caused me to spin out of control, right? And so it was a lot of pressure. It's a lot of, when a lot of people's depend on you, it's a lot of pressure. And I'm back in it again, but in a better light. But at that time, I thought, I just don't want to be a leader no more. So I kind of worked for him. But he called me over there and he said, Jerry, I stayed up to about, and let me back up and say, he was a believer. I mean, just good as gold, great guy. He said, I watched all your videos. He said, why are you doing this? I said, what do you mean? He said, God created you as a leader. You need to go lead. He fired me that day. So I'm like, oh. So that's when I started my business. Started with two guys and just started just trust because I didn't know, and then fast forward to now, the growth is amazing. I think we're getting hit right at 6.5 million this year.
That's awesome.
It's unbelievable. And the guys, sorry, I'm a big baby. I'm a big baby when it comes to that.
So good.
And to hear each of their stories of how they were brought was really cool. But it's really cool that they embrace it. A story the other day, and I got to stop.
No, take your time.
I'm a big baby in the meetings too, because they were talking the other day, and of course we share stories about God moments, right? And our salesman, Justin, he had scheduled to go on and call it. It's for a VA shower. You're on the VA list, and we do some VA showers and stuff like that. And usually calls ahead of time, but nobody answered, and so we typically just go ahead. You're right, just be committed. Let's do our part. And unfortunately, when he got there, he had passed away, and nobody had called. But it was cool. He went to walk away, and he turned around and says, "Hey, can I pray?" And really, really cool. Because the courage to that, because he's staying in a room with people he didn't know, and just stand around and just pray. Now, how that affected them, I don't know, but that's the cool stuff. And I'm like, this is really cool. So kind of one of the stories, and we get peppered in here and out and things that people go through in their life, and so trying to really get with our guys and say, hey, let's slow down and let's work on the people. So we work on the people, it'll help a whole lot of things. Like something goes bad on the job, guess what? We get a little more grace. But to really focus on making sure we're attentive to them. So
I love that. I'm so encouraged too. Jason was a termite inspector for 20 years. And it's a beautiful thing when you work for yourself, or he worked for my dad for so many years. And the opportunities that he had to first of all, see God's creation on display, going into all the homes and meeting all the people that he met, but taking opportunities to just sit and listen and talk. I mean, I can't even tell you how many people he just sat and talked with because they hadn't seen a person in some of the stories are heartbreaking, like years. Right. And just being able to pray and being able to see just the bigger picture of why God has him there in those moments. And I feel like that's one of the things I love about working for ourselves even now. It's like you have to answer to the boss. Like, are we going to get in trouble? They're going to call Jason or Jackie or Jason. And,
right.
When you walk with it in integrity, it's like, you can call the boss and it's okay. But I love that you guys just focus on people. That is so important. And that's what we're trying to do too. And what we're doing and just trying to help people and I don't know, be a light where we can. So that's really cool. I love that.
I was going to bring something up in a meeting the other day because it really struck me. It's like, wow. But the guys were talking and, even though they know they're hiring a Christian-based company, when the guys say, can we pray? They say they see the customer surprised.
Absolutely.
It's like, I didn't know y'all take it to this level. You know what I mean? Or I didn't know you're really real, and that's what we're fighting against. It's like people are out there saying, I'm a believer, but they're not a follower. And that's two different things, you know. I'm a believer. I got baptized. I know I used to be there. I got you. But there's a difference. There's a total difference. And a difference when following even what he does in your life, when you flip that switch and really become a follower instead of just a believer. It's crazy. I mean, I've got stories that I don't have answers for. I'm like, okay, that just happened. So yeah, it's cool to see it happening and see that other people in your organization are taking that and running with it. That's the cool part. Really, really cool part. So yeah, so hopefully I can leave that legacy and they'll be doing their things and I can use me other places. So yeah.
So good. So good. Okay, let's take a little bit broader of a view here and just look at like your industry as a whole. And maybe you can share just some of like the common misconceptions or mistakes that people make in your industry. And how do you learn from that so you don't make those mistakes?
So you're coming at the first thought you're asking how customers make a mistake. Because I really go on and on about picking the right contractor, and I've got training.
Yes.
So we can talk about that, and then of course the construction side of it, the business side of it. I see the mistakes most. I would say 90% of your construction businesses started out with the guy swinging a hammer, and there's the small percentage of them that really succeed because they don't have the business training, or they don't go get the training that they need. And I at one time used to be a business coach, and one thing that I used to tell is like, you could have any business, but unless you know marketing, you have no business. You better learn marketing first, and then use your talents. You can be best framer all day long, but if you don't have the marketing part, that's what I see. It's wrong. And also, when I was looking at industry, is education. There's very few people out there actually educating the consumer on what to look for, what not to look for, how to pick the right, what a lien waiver is, what all this stuff is that can get them in trouble, but they're never educated. It's hard to find that education unless you know what you're looking for. So when I come out to industry, that's one thing I want to come at is education. I want to educate as much as possible. So even through our estimates that come to you, like if you get a bathroom remodel, through that process, you're going to get an education video about a typical bathroom remodel. What's the difference between this type of tile versus this type of tile? So, and there's just education through our estimates. So when you're going through there, you go, ooh, okay, that's pretty cool. And so, so my goal is to, really, as far as the industry side, as far as the customer side of it, same way, is really just educating them, because I've got a best friend that he wasn't patient enough and we couldn't get his job. So he hired another contractor, and all the stuff I told him, he didn't do any of it. End up losing, thousands of dollars, because, he didn't look at Google reviews. Well, he did. Seen 2 Google reviews. It's like, if he has a real business, he should have a better than that. Anyway, but really teaching the customer what to look for, what questions to ask, what things to pick up on when hiring a contractor, so you don't get in trouble when you're in the middle of a project and they're not showing up and you don't know what to do. So, yeah.
No, that's great. Good answers.
I got a board right there reading all of them.
You had them all written down. That's great. That's great.
Now, a little bit about me too. Before you go, because you said that. I was kidding when I said that. I'm legally blind with my glasses on. So what I just told, and that big TV you see behind, that's actually a TV. That's so I can actually sit on the couch and watch TV. I was born this way. I drive with a special set of bioptics, which is basically a set of glasses with a binocular that sits up here. And so when I tilt my head down, I'm able to see distances. But I've just learned to deal with it in my life. But I would say that it's probably the best thing best and worst thing that happened to me. I don't think I'd ever take it away. Somebody said, "Hey, you got a surgery to give you 50%." I'm like, "No, we're not going to do that." Because I think what I had to learn, because I didn't have that, helped develop me as a person. But yeah, I just want to, I just want to throw that out there. It's kind of a little bit more about me. So yeah.
The more time I'm spending with you, the more I like you, Jerry.
Agreed.
Stop it. I'm just kidding.
That's awesome.
But,
so yeah, what advice would you have for anybody who's like looking to get into the construction business? Maybe not in your, market, but just overall in general, like a young guy who's like you said, he's just learning how to swing a hammer and he thinks that, this could be a career for him. What some advice would be?
I wouldn't mind him being in our industry. I don't have a problem with that. There's enough. There's abundance out there. And we can't get to everybody. There's no way. But I would say, as I said earlier, learn business first. You can, the problem with the construction industry, it's so easy for anybody to get into. They pick up hammer, tape, saw. Now they're a deck builder. That's the first thing. I'll start with decks and fences and kind of go from there. And then they try to grow and they have this little bit of success and then they can't make it because they're not doing what it takes, which is the marketing part of it, which is where, you have to invest money into your business. And most people don't, especially when it comes to construction, because they usually paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. And so they get in this cycle, and unfortunately it's hard to get a cycle. And most people in the construction industry don't go to that extra level of coaching and training that you do in most other industries. Like in the fitness industry, we had masterminds and stuff like that. They do have in the construction industry, which we do have a business coach, stuff like that. But a lot of people in this industry just don't have that mindset of saying, hey, if I spend the money there, how's it going to benefit me? Because we have a coach, our business coach, it's $4,000 a month. And I do think about it sometimes. Like, that's a lot of money. But then I got to think about the benefit of the development of the staff and them growing as people. That would be my number one, is making sure that they can put money aside each week to go toward the business, because they don't do that, it's never going to grow. And secondly is take that money and help and put into advertising. Find somebody to help you advertise. And Google is the place to go. I don't have any businesses, I told you, and Google was not important to me. I didn't think it was a bother. Somehow I was successful without it. Somehow, some way, through Facebook, we were. But with Google, with the right person doing your website, your search engine and stuff like that, it takes a little bit. It took us about 2 years, but now that we're top of all searches, it has changed everything for us. I can't say it enough. Like a few weeks back, we're booked out a week ahead of time, and typically we're doing on 10 to 12 calls a week as far as new jobs to bid. We didn't have any. I'm like, what's going on? Because even though we're doing good, I still get paranoid. Like, all right. And so I called my advertising guy. I said, can we turn on the Google local service ad? So basically there are two sides of Google. That side, they send you leads, but you pay per lead. And I had read an article about, if we put a big budget up there, like $10,000, that they're only going to siphon off, but they know you got the budget, so they'll send you leads. So I had him do it. And my assistant called me an hour later, said, tell him, turn him off. She had 14 calls in an hour. 14 calls in an hour. I was like, oh. But after that, it's like, that's really a cool place to be. So if anybody's watching this, just take some time and invest that part of it, because when you're there, it's cool. And I'm just saying, I'm blown away. And we're still going to keep going as far as the top of Google, but it's a cool place to be. It really is. Because when people call in, they go, how'd you hear about us? You're number one on Google. Your reviews and your reviews. Oh my God, let me stop there. You've got to get reviews. It's hard in the construction industry. You have to eat crow a lot. I've given away thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to help offset something that went wrong on a job. So I didn't get a bad review. Wasn't trying to get a good one, but I was at least trying to make things right. But throughout the years of growing, and me starting out was hard, because you don't start out with good quality help, unfortunately, because all the good quality help is taken by the bigger companies. And so it was tough. And so, but Google reviews, they're gold. And so that should be your main focus if you're going to business, is the Google reviews. And we don't have a lot. To me, we don't have a lot, but we have more than, when people call in and say, you get more than anybody that even popped up on Google. We have like 140, I think. But we're really actively doing it. We're actively making sure, the guys, that's how their commissions are based, is the Google review. Because if you do a good job, we should get a Google review, right? And so we'll start seeing a lot more of those come in. But I would love to somebody pop on just Google us and they have 400 or 500 reviews. I think that would be amazing, of just people singing our praises. And really, at that point, the megaphone gets a little louder, the voice gets louder. And my next move, as I'm really passionate about, is hitting social media a little bit harder. So I've got I hired an influencer coach. So really going through that. Of course, you guys know that. So I learned about you guys. And really build a band of contractors for Christ. So we're all going to work together in different fields, different industries, but really come at the social media and Facebook and whatever, which is education. And through that, we'll pepper some God stuff through there, some messages through there too. So so I'm excited about that. If I can ever get to that, it's like my business still keeps grabbing me and pulling me back into it. so.
Oh, that's great advice. Yeah. For all those young guys in there that are aspiring to get into the field, I mean, that's great wisdom there. Did you want to ask something?
Can I just ask like a personal construction question? Just because, we have a property.
You're just trying to see if I really know what I'm not doing, right?
No, I feel like there's things that I don't know. And like, this is your industry. You're the expert. So I would love to hear. For us specifically, we just bought a new property that we're closing on in like a month. And there's things that I want to update and work on to make it better. And I know even in our industry, lots of people are fully furnishing properties and trying to upgrade them, make them look amazing. So are there any, like if you had a tier of these things are pretty simple, kind of inexpensive, but can really make a difference to the look of the home and even the quality of the home, are there any suggestions you have? Like I'm thinking of like faucets or lighting or something.
Yeah. So you're answering more design questions.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Let me get you in touch with my interior designer. I'm better at, honestly, mine is my, talent would be space structuring, as far as space and how it lays out, stuff like that. As far as colors of faucets, no, that's their designers do what they do. And see, I got my guy taste, but not everybody likes my guy taste. So but as far as layouts and stuff, as far as inside the house, you buy something. Of course, I don't know if it has an open floor plan. That's what we're doing a lot of now, taking out walls, creating that open floor plan between the kitchen and living room. So that if it's not there, to take an older house and really do that increases the value so much. Of course, bathrooms are always those items that really help out a lot. But even in the kitchen, you can get away with level 1 granite. If you don't have a good granite in there, change out the tops, backsplash, paint your cabinets. You can do all that for less than probably $5,000 and have a new kitchen, per se, to get something that really is going to, make a dramatic difference when you walk in.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's helpful. Yeah. So you do know design stuff. That's helpful.
Yeah, there's some downscale things. I don't like to sell those because I'm just kidding. I end up talking myself out of work than I do in the work because I'm too. I'm like, they'll come in. Contractors, so we need to do this and this and this. Like, no, you don't. You need to you don't need to do that. And anyway, just little stuff like that. So there's some cool items that's come out now, like cabinet refinishing and refacing. We're dipping into, what's it called? Anyway, it's kind of like, the only way I can explain it is kind of like how you wrap your cars.
Yeah.
Same process. You got cabinet wraps. So And then they change out the doors. So basically, they get you to wrap the frames, and then they'll send you a new set of doors, and now you have a new set of cabinets. So we're looking at that to see if that could be more of a kind of a little lower scale of a kitchen remodel. So, and those are DIY projects too. So those are companies you work with as a homeowner, can order new doors and really change the look of your kitchen just by refacing stuff. So.
That's cool. I mean, I find in the people that we're working with, people are scrappy and willing to put in some hard work and do some things on their own. So that's cool. That's something.
Backsplashes. Everybody, you don't have to do a tile backsplash. There's new products out. There's a product we have called Palisade. We actually use it in showers also, but it's a tile. It looks just like tile. You get the grout lines, you get the same look. You can't really tell it, except that it's kind of like your click and lock flooring.
Okay.
It's for tile. So we do showers, you do backsplash in the kitchen. So anybody can put a backsplash in the kitchen on with that product because you just glue it on the wall.
That's cool.
As long as you can cut a straight line, you're good. So
well, that's debatable. That's debatable sometimes.
I know, right?
Oh, that's cool. So
measure twice, cut once.
Yes. I had a question about, okay, so you said you started a New Day Construction 2 years ago?
Actually, it was when I'm a guy, so all those,
2020.
Yeah, I see. When the pandemic started, so it was April. When was that? Anybody know? I think 19, maybe 20.
19 or 20.
Yeah.
It's like 4 years later, almost 5 years later now, and it seems like you've scaled dramatically. How have you done that? And also, what is the current structure of your company? Like, how many employees do you have? How many divisions do you have? It seems like you've got a big team helping you out.
Yeah, it's definitely grown. How? Well, I guess just doing the right thing, and along the way bringing people in, and we've had some bad people that's really hurt our company. But in the same hand, I think they taught me something through the way too. So I can't really say it was bad. It'd be nice if I had all the money back. Anyway. But yeah, I guess just steadily going after it. Now I'm very motivated. I still have that fear when I get up in the mornings of, are we going to be okay? Is the make going to be okay? I'm still living in fear because I have all this weight on my shoulders that all these people are dependent on me for food, for their family and stuff like that, right? So I forgot where I was going. I have that CRS. You ever know what that is? Just can't remember stuff.
Yes.
So many acronyms.
I have that.
It hits me. I'm like, I just totally lost that thought.
So many acronyms. I don't know. You're talking about scaling. I'm talking about the structure of your company.
Yeah. So scaling, just doing the right thing, and just slow. I mean, I always pushed. I remember I had an assistant one time. She said, "Are you ever going to say no to a job?" I said, "No." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "If I stop momentum, then it stops the whole thing." She said, "But we don't have a tile guy." And I took a tile job. I swear. I sold a tile job. I did not have a tile guy.
Wow.
Next day, I was selling a chainsaw, and a guy comes in the driveway, and Hispanic, and I said, "Hey, what do you do?" He said, "I do tile." He was my tile guy for 4 years. 3 years.
Love it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But I told her, I said, and that's just the way how I am. I just did not. I would take as many on as we can, and then I would make it happen. So it would stretch me to my limits. It was times. Oh my God! I can remember I would get up at 2 a.m. Currently now I'm up about 4 a.m. every morning. I work to about 7. But there were times I'd be up at 2 a.m. because I only had my quiet time in the mornings because after 8 o'clock, my phone just blew up. Because, back then I was everything. Project manager, salesman, you name it, I was doing it. I just somehow made it happen. I just say grit. And so when things would happen, I would say God too, because it would just match up things and things would just happen. I'm like, okay. So honestly, I don't know how I done it, but we made it through it. Now, as far as team-wise, first biggest thing that was the hardest is finding a salesperson that that could replace me. Not to be cocky but I sell with my heart. I don't do no trickery. This is who I am. This is what we're about. And there's skepticism behind that. But, so trying to find that person. And, so Justin answered, he's seen one of our ads and just in the magazine, it's a Christian-based company. He's like, they just called, and it's been amazing ever since. So we got Justin. He's our sales guy. Wes, he's my, I guess you'd say, operations manager, or pretty much runs the whole show on the backside of it. Amazing man. God's working with him right now. It's really cool. We can talk all day about that, but and he don't mind me telling you, he has a autoimmune disease, something spondylosis. I can't. Doctors hadn't done anything for him, and I had run into a Asian medicine doctor. Dr. Cool is his name, and he's here. He's over here. And I knew about him because he was neighbors with my brothers, and I just didn't think about it. And his name got brought up by my wife. Had a friend that went to him for some cancer or something she had. It's like, well, I know him. Let me call him. And so I sent Wes out there, and now this is a guy that come in, and I'd see him walk, and tears come down my face because I could see the pain he was in. And you can't, when you see it, you can't do anything about it, and but in a week he come out, he'll tell you today, he's like, he swung his arm, dude, I haven't been able to do this in a long time, this is crazy. And he's still skeptical. But in 2 weeks his life it's unbelievable. And it's this magnipuncture he's doing. I actually went down the treatment myself, just but yes, all through magnets. He's got success stories of curing people with cancer, and he'll tell you straight up, I cure cancer, I clean blood. So anyway, we got Wes. We have 4 project managers. We have a insurance division that does nothing but insurance work. Justin runs that. Justin Schrute runs that. Then we have Monty. Just brought him on from California. He's a unique story. He's tattooed from here down.
Love it.
And of course, when he's back in his 20s, and he moved from California, and he come across our company, and he's faith-based, and he's just been a gift. Oh my God. And so I was trying to we interviewed him, and I didn't have room for him. Honestly, I'm like, we just don't have room. So I thought, I just prayed about it. It's like, maybe we crimp a new division, make a small works division, because we don't do small jobs because we're too small. So I brought him in. It's cool to have him on board because his first customer was a small job that turned into a big job, was Mr. Phil. Phil's in a rehabilitation. He's older. He fell and hurt himself. And so when he gets home, he's got to have widened doorways, stuff like that. And so he called us, and we've been working his house, and didn't he meet the man for 2 weeks through the phone, right? And so Monty drives an hour and a half to the facility he's at to talk to him and also pick up a draw payment, because we get a weekly draw. And he walked in, and Monty said, he looked at me and said, I didn't expect you. Because, the tattoos all the way down. But he ended up praying with him. But I think that could have changed his perception of people for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? So just little things like that. So Monty's been really cool to bring on. Burgess, and Monty's mid-20s, early 20s. Burgess, same way. Burgess got the mullet going on. He's a country boy with a hat and got the mullet and Carhartts, and just a laid-back guy, but loves the Lord. So he's learning the ropes. He used to be a tile guy, so it's two. And then Philip, he's our oldest of the bunch. So we got 4 project managers, operation manager sales. We have Tyler. She's in the office. She takes care of all the ordering, cabinet designs, layout, stuff like that. She's amazing. The number 2 person in our company besides Wes would be Melissa. And I'm going to say this, she is my ex-wife. And everybody finds that strange, but she takes care of that company like no other. Between her and Wes, good stuff. So, So yeah, it was kind of a struggle when I got married, right? But it's cool. Like this Christmas, she'll be over here. She comes over Christmas time. Even I've been married, and then my first wife, honey, she spends Christmas with us. So it's really crazy and cool. A lot of people like you should be hating them. No, we don't. You don't want to hate nobody. But yeah, so that's kind of the core staff of the office, and of course, a lot of guys out in the field has been with us for quite a while. They're subcontractors, but they primarily work for us, and so really like to invest in them as much as we can. We got a financial peace class. I got one of our customers is retired, and he used to be a financial peace coach and still is, and so he's offered his services for free. So we're going to put a class. But it's going to be several weeks. But I'm excited to put that on because a lot of them stream that paycheck to paycheck, and hopefully I tell them, I said, if for some reason your life's not better with us than with us, I've done something wrong. I've done something wrong. So, so my hope is to really keep investing and building up people. And yeah.
You sound like an amazing person to work for. Are you hiring?
I love how you talk about your employees and you know every single one. And I mean, you're so invested in all of them. It's so awesome to see that. That's so cool.
I pray for them every day. So awesome. Monty, he told me, he says, he's telling his wife, because he said his wife said, she said, you sound like you work for ministry.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Now he's from California, and I asked him, I said, now help me. I said, in California, how is Christianity viewed? He's like, dude, it's rough. He said, it's not good. He said, you take me with my tattoos and Christianity. He said, yeah, we were the outsiders. I'm like, wow.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely can experience that here ourselves for sure.
Are you in California?
We are, yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I don't know what party is in. Much like because you hear, I don't know. I've been out there a few times, but you don't really meet a lot of people. I've been to conferences out there, so. But yeah, he said it was a struggle. Yeah.
Well, something that you mentioned, I think Justin is the one that's in charge of your insurance division. It's definitely something that we're interested. Obviously, our community is interested. Our audience is interested in it. But we do, our favorite thing to do is house displaced families. Like that's the best when they've had some sort of catastrophe in their home. Being able to get them into one of our houses or one of our community members' houses is what we love it. It's great to just be that soft place for them to land, the hands and feet of Jesus until they get back on their feet. Right. But from a construction side, I'm curious because you always hear 2 more weeks. What is your experience in dealing with like insurance claim families? Like, do you see a lot of floods and fires, and do those end up being remodels, like full kitchen remodels? And what's the average length of time? Is it 2 months, 3 months? Like what can our audience expect on like the average insurance claim?
So insurance is handled differently. And it's funny. It's not funny, but customers don't know that. And so I'm trying to educate them and trying to help. So they call us, they want an estimate. Well, with insurance, you just can't come out and give an estimate. I know that sounds crazy, but it does you no good. But then they think I'm scamming them. I'm like, I'm really not. So we actually come up with a video. I have them watch a video, and then I have a phone call with them. But so basically, your time is hard to say because we can't start work until the insurance claim is settled, right? So what should happen is, of course, you have a mitigation company comes out. Now, some mitigation companies are their same rebuild companies, which is fine. As long as they have a page and a Google review, that's fine. And you see them, they do good work. the insurance company will most likely try to get you to use their contractors. Be very, very, very careful of that. The reason for that is everybody who's under their umbrella has to agree to do work at a certain price, and the prices they do work for, I would not do work for. And so they're getting subcontractors. Not only that, you have no recourse if something gets not done right. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't do a go review because they're a ghost. You're going to complain to your insurance company? They're not going to do anything. What are you going to sue them? So it's you get stuck. You get subpar work. So I would say, once you get your mitigation company coming in, get you some contractors come out. But the thing is they can't come out for free. And because when we come out, what we do a 3D scan of everything that's there. And so we make sure that everything's captured. That way, if there's any questions during construction, we have that evidence. Because through a computer, I can pretty much walk through your place and measure anything I want to measure. And so we do the 3D scan, and then we take that information and we turn it into our estimator. Now, in the insurance world, we use an outside estimator because insurance companies across the nation use a program called Xactimate. All of them use the same program, which is crazy. Whether it's State Farm, Allstate, they all use the same program. It's a very robust, very detailed program to the amount of how many sheets of sheetrock to studs to nails and stuff like that. And so you got to really be good at what you do to make sure you pack it full of stuff in there to make sure you drive that claim up. Now, we don't put anything in there unethical because we're Christian-based, of course. But we do have to pack it full because the first thing the adjuster does is try to negotiate back down. It's a game. It should be that, you've got a claim. It looks like it's going to be this much to fix it. Here, let me get you checked. No, it's a fight, unfortunately. And so that process there, it could last a week, it could last 2 weeks. I tell my customers to speed it up. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. And that's where we kind of fall, because a lot of people they don't want to be pushy. But unfortunately, you have to be pushy because all these desk agents have claims after claims after claims falling on their desk, and they're going to grab the first one that comes up. So I would say that if you want to move quicker, stay involved. Get on the phone with that adjuster. If they're not answering phone calls, get on the phone with the supervisor. And I've seen the more you pull their chain, the more you get to, because they want to be done with you. So that time period can last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then the rebuild, typically what it is, if it's a bathroom, we're looking, good solid 3 weeks to make sure we've captured everything in there. So I've had customers that they almost deny, and we have to get private adjusters involved. Now, private adjuster is basically an adjuster that works for you, and they're able to read insurance law. And so they're able to request a copy of your policy, dig through your policy, and hold the insurance company accountable. Now, they take a percentage of the claim because they're fighting for big money at that time. But, I had one that whole house was out, and it was $120,000 to at least put it back, and they were wanting to get $40,000. And so we had to get an adjuster. They had to get an adjuster involved and fight that. And it took them a year.
How long was that period of time?
1 year.
Wow.
Yeah, and they had to be at Airbnb for a year.
Yep.
Yeah. So it can go smooth. It all depends on your agent, honestly. And I don't know if I want to say who not to get insurance with. If y'all want me to say that, but
I'd be careful with that. No. It's a $1.4 trillion industry.
Yeah, I know it, right? Yeah. Some of the biggest ones are not cool. So just say.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, just vet your insurance company. Do some, if you're looking at it, what you don't want to do is find out in the middle of a claim that your insurance company is not a great company. So, jump on some reviews. You'll see. Especially, there's a lot of them that are good in auto, great in auto, but horrible in home repairs. A lot of them great in roof repairs. So be careful because a lot of insurance companies, roof repairs, they get all the time. It's just when it comes to the inside, water damage, fire damage, stuff like that. Yeah.
So you have a whole insurance division, part of your company. So is that a large part of your revenue and your work?
I wouldn't say a large part. I would say it's about equal to. So each project manager typically runs about 10 to 12 jobs at any given time. Now, on the insurance side, they're all not all out running at one time. I think we have 20 jobs sitting over there. So we don't have a lot, but it's good for one guy to run it as a project manager. And
Yeah.
I don't want to get too big because it costs me more time. So
Yeah.
What's like the mile radius of that you guys are doing work
we do a mile radius,
Okay.
an hour radius. So
Mhm.
whatever that is from us, we try to stay within an hour.
That's good.
Wow.
Makes it hard when you get past that. Just traffic and guys just don't want to do it. So yeah, and everybody wants their price to be here, and you can't. You can't do it. So
Yeah.
You want to drive an hour and get a free estimate.
mhm.
Like it costs you nothing to get out there. Yeah.
My
I think
hope, my prayer is, and I think we'll get there if we keep doing what we're doing, is get to the point where people are just calling us going, "Hey, I only want you to do it.
Yeah.
Do you care how much it costs? No, I only want you guys to do it." That's where I would like to be, instead of fighting a lot of times against other contractors. So I know if we keep doing the right thing, we keep the message out there, and that happens sometimes too already. It's like, just let me know when you guys getting ready, when you get started. so
That's awesome. So we're kind of winding down on our time here with you, but I wanted just to get one more question, and I ask this a lot to a lot of different people. But what is the number one thing that Jerry Martin is most excited about right now?
I'm excited, like I said earlier, about really. I'm not. I don't want to be an influencer just to be an influencer, but I want the avenue to where I can get what's in here out to help other people, whether it's spiritually, whether it's in my story, whether it's through the contract industry. And I know that God has created me because somehow, some way, I hear that I have that gift. So when you hear it enough, you go, okay, you get to the point in your life, you start going, okay, what is my gift? Oh, I guess, and start owning it without trying to sound cocky. But I'm supposed to be a good communicator, so I don't feel like that sometimes. But I do hear stories of guys of, hey, I seen your video and it really hit home. So it means I must be doing the right thing. So I'm really passionate about that and where that leads and how many lives that can touch and stuff like that. So yeah, how many doors that can open up. So.
Love that. That's definitely exciting for
Yes,
sure.
it is.
Can't wait to see what happens in the future for you. So how can people find you? You're in Georgia. You go. That's the northeast suburb of Atlanta, right?
Yeah. So we're in between Athens and Atlanta. So kind of right dab in the middle. So yeah, Winder, Georgia. We do have a storefront, so a showroom in Winder with kitchen cabinets, showers, vanities, stuff like that.
Okay.
We typically stay in an hour radius. But if anybody out there sees a show, wants to get in touch with me, that wants to start their own business, needs some advice, hey, give me a call. I know this thing reaches further than just a little town of Winder. And so, I'd love to have a conversation and just help take what I've learned here and give it. So I'm excited about, working with those contractors too, because, with the Contractors for Christ, I've talked to a few of them, and we're going to come together and meet monthly and as a unit. And these would be, siding industries, concrete industries, just people that we use, but not all at once. And to where we can have a mastermind and we can help each other grow our business, but also help spread the word and create that big megaphone. So I'm excited about that, how that's going to turn out. Kind of like, have you guys ever heard of Trust Dale? Trust Dale is out of Atlanta. But it basically has a website, and pretty much if you use any services off the website, whether it's a contractor, auto service, whatever, he personally guarantees their work. And so basically, Contractor tries to be the same way.
That's so cool.
These are our bands. If you use any of these, 10% of their proceeds, 10% of your job goes straight to, I've got a nonprofit we're going to work with that does home repairs for single moms, elderly, and stuff like that. And then, and let them know that we guarantee their work. Everybody has a 3-year guarantee on all their work. So hoping that'll kick off and we can really make a big movement in that area. So
Love it.
That's awesome.
So newdayconstruction.com, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we'll put the contact information in the description below and all your socials and everything so people can find you. But man, so incredibly thankful to have you on and be able to highlight you. And thanks for carving out time near the holidays for us. I know it can get a little hectic. So
Thanks for inspiring us. I
Oh,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the opportunities. Thank you so very much.